it comes to outdoor cats in the winter, there's 3 basic things they need: food, water, and shelter. And today we'll go over some ideas for how you can help the outdoor cats have those things. For water, a heated water bowl like this one is a great idea. Of course, you have to have electricity for that. If you don't have electricity, the best thing you can do is find ways to keep the water from freezing as long as possible. It's probably going to freeze anyway. Like, you can use casserole hot packs to put under the bowls, or just be creative, stuff like that. And I have a link with a few ideas below that I'll put in the description. And this is really a blessing to have this because it makes it so easy. The next item is shelter. This is just made from a doghouse, and it's not that ideal because the opening is so large. But if it's not completely freezing where you live, it's just cold, it's probably going to be okay. We usually keep these in the shed, so it doesn't matter so much about the opening. And you want to place this so the opening is next to the wall or not the direction that the wind and snow are going to come from. This shelter is more ideal. It's made out of a container, and there's lots of videos on how to make these. It's lined with insulation and filled with straw, and you should always just fill them with straw. Do not put blankets in them, or cat beds, or hay, or carpet pieces. You don't want to use anything that will freeze to the cat once it gets wet. So that's what the inside looks like. It looks like someone's used it since I put fresh straw into it. I might have to fix that lid later. And this is what the front looks like. Just a small hole, big enough for a cat to get into, but hopefully not a larger animal like a raccoon. But you never know. And I think the possum might be going in these. But that's this type of shelter, which is pretty popular. And like I said, lots of videos on how to make them. If you have space in your yard, a shed is great. It really keeps the cats out of the wind. And this shed has electricity in it, so we have heated cat beds in there. But when we first started out, we just had like the regular container shelters and the doghouse that I showed you earlier. So just do what you can. Okay, I'm not going to open the shed because I think the cats could be in there right now, because this is one of the coldest, windiest days we've had so far this year. That the feels like temperature was 10 when I came out. But you want to follow the same rules, like don't use blankets, only use straw. Follow the rules of your heated cat bed if you have one. Gar says not to put straw in it, so it's just the heated cat house. And I have another video that shows the inside if you want to watch that. But those are the main options, I think, for shelter. And of course, the cats can go under this deck if they want. It'll keep them out of the wind. But obviously the shed or a container shelter is going to be warmer for them. And then, of course, you're going to need food for the cats. We have this nice shelter setup that blocks a lot of the wind and keeps the most of the snow and rain out. This side is plastic covered, so we could put the food over there. And in the winter, you'll mostly have to do dry food probably. Just once it gets below freezing, the wet food might freeze too fast. But you can still give them wet food if they're going to eat it right away. And with the dry food, they might need a little extra in the winter to help them stay warm because they need extra calories. This is our setup, but you don't need anything this elaborate. If you can, find a space that's covered, or come up with a way so they can eat and not be in the snow or rain when it's cold out. And just another tip for the shelter. Sometimes you can just use what you have on hand. My husband made this 11 years ago just from stuff we had in the garage. It was before we knew a lot about outdoor cats, so this opening's a little bit bigger. But it helped a cat that year make it through the winter. And I just surrounded it with straw to help as a wind barrier. And only put straw inside. Remember, no blankets, no hay, no cat beds. Nothing that's going to get wet and freeze to the cat. And we also like to have extra shelter set up just in case a new cat comes by in the winter. For whatever reason, the new ones seem to show up in the winter. It's like that blue one back there. The blue is a container shelter, so when winter showed up 4 years ago as a little feral kitten, that's what he crawled into, and it helped him get through the winter. So right now we only have the 2 outdoor cats, so they're using the shed, but we like to have options to help other cats. And if you do have a new cat show up in the winter, you'll want to get it fixed, but if it's cold, it's probably too cold to get it fixed because of how they get shaved when they get spayed or neutered, and you don't want them to freeze. So just make a plan to help that cat in the spring. As soon as it's warm enough, take it in to get it fixed. That can be a trap, neuter, return. So thank you so much for watching. I'm freezing, so I'm going to go inside. And you can watch this video about how to not worry about your outdoor cats in the winter when it's freezing.